Brad, we saw kind of like the best of Marcus Smart in some stretches and maybe the worst of Marcus Smart in some stretches. What do you make of the swings in his game tonight?
Well, I mean, we'll always go back and we'll look at the game in its entirety and go through each of those with each of our individuals. I think, you know, the way that I look at it more as a team, we weren't able to match them in the first half. I thought they made shots. They made it really difficult on us. I thought we were flying around, super engaged in the second half. Obviously, it turned mid-third quarter, and they kept that up, and we just didn't respond as a group as well as we can. And so, you know, I'll focus on the individuals when we talk to them each, but you know, as a group, we came up short.
John, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was still unmuted. That third quarter where things really started to fall apart there, what was behind that?
Well, first of all, Zion, I don't know if that was I'm having trouble remembering if that was in the late third or early fourth when he was in his second shift that he usually makes. He usually comes, plays the end of the third, early fourth, but his ability to get downhill and no matter who was on him obviously hurt us in that stretch. And we just weren't able to capitalize on the other end to kind of stay close, right? I thought we had some really good possessions defensively at different times tonight, some of which they scored on, including the Ingram shot at the end. I thought Jason Tatum did a terrific job guarding that shot. So hats off to them for making us pay in a lot of ways. And then, you know, we weren't able to maintain closeness when Zion went on his little mini run there. And I thought that was a big part of it. They made timely threes all night, John. I mean, 16 of 31, you know, and it felt worse than that. Like it felt like they were really shooting it, even with great challenges at different times. Some of them weren't, but a lot of them I felt like we guarded pretty decent.
Mark Murphy.
Hey, Brad. Evan obviously got off to kind of a rough start tonight. Just opening night jitters. He seemed to be trying to a little tight.
I mean, you can ask him that. You know, I just walked by his locker and said, "This will just be a small blip on your time here." I mean, this is, you know, guys get off the plane. He told you he flew to Oklahoma City, got off the plane, was told he was positive, then had to take a bunch of negative tests in a row. I think it's been a tougher than normal trade for him. But I know that he's not going to make that excuse, but I got no doubt that Evan Fournier is going to score a lot of buckets for the Celtics. So very much a blip, not worried about it.
Westerholm.
Brad, just how different was it having fans back in the arena tonight?
I mean, Tom, this has been the hardest. I mean, I don't even want to complain, right? I mean, we've lost so many people in the United States and all over the world, and the amount of people affected from an employment status, the terrible tragedy that the past year has been. And from our own experience playing in the bubble and not playing in front of anybody, and then, you know, seeing fans occasionally on the road, but not here. You know, I'd say it was pretty emotional for me to see it because, you know, it just signals maybe if we can buckle down and get through this, then we can have something resembling normal back. And obviously that's not a lot of people in there. But man, it sounded like a lot more people than when we've been on the road. And, you know, I appreciate all the people that came. I appreciate them being here because for those of us that have coached and played basketball games in front of no one, it's been fun. It's been basketball, but it hasn't felt normal or right. And so tonight felt a little bit more normal and right, even though we missed more shots than they did.
Keith Smith.
Brad, in the last few years, you guys have been one of the better defensive teams in the league. What do you see has happened with this group to cause the drop off? And tonight again, 50% shooting for the opponent. How do you get that back on track?
Tonight wasn't as much about engagement, especially early. I think again sometimes you're gonna have nights where the other team is really dialed in. They played really physical, and the game rewarded the way they played on the defensive end. And they made shots, and I think I'm pretty upfront when that's not the case. I don't think our defense has been very good this year, period. I said the other day, defense works only if 5 guys are all playing it at an elite, physical, tough, engaged level. And we just haven't, all year at enough of the time. Tonight, we were engaged. We got beat by a better offense tonight. Those guys, again, made a lot of plays. There were certainly times we'll go back and watch the film, Keith, where we'll say, we could have done better. I don't want to say we played perfect, not even close. But this was not an engagement or effort thing. And we've been a little bit better in the last couple of games, which is encouraging. But, you heard me before the Milwaukee game. If we don't really commit to that, then, we're okay. But okay doesn't get you very far.
The last question is from Bob Schron.
Jeff, Coach, to be fair, I mean, didn't you have a lot of moving parts tonight? I mean, Evan's first game, Kemba back after missing a game. Jay went out. In terms of connectedness defensively, I mean, a lot to go on in the team that's shooting the way they were.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they shot, again, credit to them. There were some plays we made mistakes defensively, whether we're, have played together much before or not, whether we've got guys out, that's part of it. But I thought our offense wasn't very good tonight. I'm actually looking more at the other end when I'm evaluating this game. I thought we got stagnant. I thought we took some really hard shots in the second half. And so this was one of those nights where we're going to have to score the ball because the other team is really shooting it. So again, I think sometimes, we make it more difficult than it is. They played great tonight, and we didn't quite match it. And that was to me, the story of the game. But no excuses for moving parts and all that stuff. We have to play better.
Thank you, Coach. We'll wrap it up right there.